Okay. Okay. Sorry. A very good evening, everyone. Okay. So, like Rachel just now asking, what is this thing? Anyone have any clues? What might are these animals or aliens or whatever? Yes, correct. These are lagoon jellyfish, or some they will call white spotted jellyfish. Okay, so you can see on the bodies, there are a lot of small, tiny white spot. Okay, the unique about these jellyfish is that they have a symbionts we call zooxanthellums, which are similar like corals. Okay, so these zooxanthellums actually produce food for the jellyfish. And the jellyfish carry them around, keep them safe from eaten by other animals. Okay, so these are the symbionts relationship. Okay, so that's why they sometimes can be found in seagrass area, because the zooxanthellum, like seagrass, they need sunlight to do photosynthesis. Okay, so that's why in daytime, the jellyfish will swim to shallow water, sometimes got seagrass. Then at the night, they'll swim back to the deep waters to hide from predators. Okay, so not all jellyfish are so dangerous and stinging and causing death. Okay. 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 So introduce myself. So I'm Michael. So some of you know me before. Okay. So I'm marine background. So I have a degree and master degree in marine science. And my master's project is basically on seagrass itself. That is how the seagrass conservation start from there and evolve until now. Okay, and in the same time, I found an NGO called Seagrass Guardians. This is a live boy with seagrass on inside it. Okay, so these are the NGO I found based in Sabah, specifically working on seagrass education, awareness, conservations, and also restorations. So in Malaysia, actually, we have several group of seagrass communities in Peninsular Malaysia, but there are none in Sabah. So that's why I say, okay, now my Sabah, I will take care of it. So that's why I have an NGO to take care of a bit. Okay, and then I also a founder of kind of like social enterprise identity, Green Lab with Michaels, which basically promote nature educations. Okay, people are wondering why I do seagrass, then I do nature education again. Because for seagrass, a lot of people say like, okay, I'm not living near to the sea. I don't want to care about the sea. So can we encourage people to do something to protect the sea? Yes, we can, through the land-based terrestrial forests and so on. So that's why I have another identity to create nature educations that people can do in daily life that actually save our forests and also save the oceans. Okay, and beside that, I also part of an international youth NGO called Climate Educate. This basically working on climate change educations. And my role is one only member in marine background. So I also promoting seagrass and blue carbons, which are the one of the habitats that help to mitigate climate change. Okay, so everything is linked together. And currently, I also a Sabah CSO SDG Alliance members, where we promote sustainable development goals, how we're going to achieve it and so on. And my role is more on seagrass and marine conservations. Okay, and very recently, we have World Seagrass Day, which are specially dedicated for seagrass. And these are recognized on 1st March. Okay, this is not easy fighting. Okay, we have been petitioning in 2018. And it's only recognized in 2022. Yes. And before that, seagrass community around the world, we actually celebrate and do International Seagrass Awareness Month for the whole March. So around the world, we try to do education programs, webinars and so on to raise awareness for that. But now, since we have the World Seagrass Day, so everyone are focusing on this particular day to bring bigger impact on the global scales. So some might wondering why I choosing seagrass. A lot of people, seagrass very boring. Better work on corals, colorfuls, or mangrove is big trees. We can see it. Seagrass maybe look like weed, nobody care. So because I have very deep passions in marines, and I also hobbies in gardening. So seagrass actually is plants. So it's just kind of like how we're going to plant or grow the seagrass in the sea instead on the land. Okay, so it's combination of my passions and hobbies. So that's why I chose seagrass as my path of journey, my career path. Okay, and second, because it's a very good, big opportunities. Because for seagrass, a lot of gap of knowledge that people don't really understand it. Corals, mangrove, there's been 100, 200 years of study. So a lot of people have better understanding about them. But for seagrass, it's less than 50 years. In Asia, we can say it's still in infant stage. So a lot of people still don't know it. So I see that as one of the opportunity to fight for seagrass. And how my seagrass journey start? Actually, it started in 2017, when I start my master degree in UMS. Before that, about 2 years, supervisor have been approached me. We are talking about looking funding for seagrass. But unfortunately, it's not easy. All the funded seagrass? No, we don't fund it. So we modified the titles to protect the coastline from erosion by transplanting seagrass. So we changed the wording. So it's protecting the coastline, not the main actor is protecting the coastline, not seagrass. So the funding come in. Then in 2017, I come back to UMS and start doing the master studies on seagrass transplanting. And because I'm doing my master, so like all the time I'm talking with people about seagrass. People say, why you need to protect seagrass? What is seagrass? So the education is lacking. Lack a lot of them. So that's why in one of the climate change use camps, my group, we actually have 2 days of fighting which topic to fight for. And in the end, all the project idea is too visionable, too big, cannot achieve. But for mine is going on. So that's why for my group, we choose my projects as seagrass. Okay? And unfortunately, my group didn't get the seed fundings. But for that particular camps, for my seagrass guardians, is the only ones survive until now. The rest is like die off already. Okay. Okay. So after that, I also been working with marine ecotourism to promote seagrass in Aradinawan. And after that, got some corporate fundings to work on CSR project on seagrass and also transplanting. Okay. So from there, slowly we are like getting more attentions until the national levels. Okay, so Petronas, there are some Petronas. So they initiate the stakeholders workshop on seagrass conservation in Malaysia. This one is in 2022. So we gather all the seagrass researchers, conservationists, youth, NGO, and so on in one table. So we are talking about the seagrass status in Malaysia. Why is it lacking? What we need to do? How we can approach and create a national plans for seagrass and so on. And then they initiate the project Seagrass Mapping and Community-Based Program in Malaysia. So this one focusing on in Penang, Johor, and Sabah. Okay. And this project I implement implementation is 2024 until next year. So for this project, we actually have University Putra Malaysia. They focusing on Johor. University of Malaya, they're focusing in Pulau Pinang, and UMS in Sabah. And my NGO is a key partner with UMS to carry out this project. So now we go to our focus. What is seagrass?
Under the Petronas tell you where to do this.
No, we are the one choosing it. Of course, we will need to discuss with them where is the best to map. Because unfortunately, a lot of places might got a little bit here, a little bit there. So it's time consuming and it's not effective to do so. So we choose those areas with big areas of seagrass. And for this project, we're also using satellite image to map the seagrass and then ground truthings to confirm the seagrass species density and so on. Okay, so this one, hopefully by next year, we will have a complete report of seagrass in Malaysia. And currently for Sabah, UMS team have mapped out seagrass, I think about 20 to 30% more than, how to say it? More than those seagrass have been reported and cited before. So you can see there's actually a lot of places got seagrass, nobody know about it. So they have been cited, reported. So next year when we have the final publications on all the findings, then everyone will see where are the seagrasses in Sabah. And some area you won't even, expecting you'll find seagrass over there. And currently one site in Sipitang. So it's muddy areas and they found a very rare species of seagrass in that particular regions. And it's not small patch, it's a huge patch. Even nobody know about it. Yes. So when they are asking me to identify and checking, I say, are you serious? This species I've been looking it in Sabah for so many years, so difficult to find. There's just one side, they see so many of them. So you can imagine the seagrass, there's so many gap of knowledge that we don't know yet.
Are there different types of seagrass?
Yes. Around the world, we have about 72 species of seagrass. In Malaysia, current latest record would be 16 species, 16. And in Sabah is 14, 14, yes. So Sabah record the highest number of species in Malaysia actually, because Sabah is located between Coral Triangle regions. So that's why, but unfortunately, nobody know about it. So hopefully in the future, more and more people will aware about it. Okay, so now we move to the main topic. What is seagrass? Okay, so in locals community, some they'll call lanuns. These are a little bit Philippines language. So Malay is rumput laut, Philippines lusai bahasa bayau. Okay. So they have so many names. Okay. But unfortunately, they've always been mistaken as seaweed, the one we usually eat. Okay, so there's one seagrass conservationist create these illustrations. And I say, seagrass is angry now because everyone thought seagrass is seaweed. So hopefully people will pay more attention. Seagrass, seaweed are different things. Okay. So seaweed. Okay, this we move to those we are more familiar. Seaweed normally are those that we eat. We have commercial values on it. Okay, for on the top, I believe everyone have been seeing this, have been eating this, lato or the sea grapes. Okay, these are the seabird nests, which are where for commercial terms, they use seabird nest to marketing better. and we also have others. Okay, so these are microalgae, algae. Okay, so they are big size that we can see by naked eyes. Of course, we also have microalgae like spirulina. Those are very, very tiny that we only can observe under microscope. Okay, so algae or seaweed, they actually is a primitive form of organism. They are not plants, not animal, not pathogens, but very primitive form of organism on the planet by itself. Because on our planet, the life starts from algae. So they are the creator of life on the planet. Okay? Okay. Now, yes. So these are the samples of Carpophycus, or we call bird sea nest. Maybe a little bit salt crystal might falling down because these are sun dry.
Eating.
You need to soak in the water, let it rehydrate. Okay, after that you can cook it as turn it into jellies, or you can eat it as it is like salad. Okay, these are already dry ones. So if you go to fresh market, you will see the fresh one. Sometimes green, yellow, orange, and so on. Okay?
Are all seaweeds edible?
Huh?
Are they all edible seaweed?
Yes, most are edible. To my knowledge, microalgae, yes. Macroalgae, no.
Have you considered like delicacies?
For some community, like lato, actually longevity food in Japan. Because in southern part of Japan, there one community, they always eat lato, the sea grapes.
That's like in Sarawak too. They have brown.
Sarawak also, yeah. So they have a longer lifespan. So community believe that eating out the seaweed, you have longer life. Yes. So that's how lato have been promoted as superfood around the world. So they have been farming in Japan, China, Vietnam, Malaysia a little bit. So sometimes in Shopee or online platform, you might find package of lato, dry one or salted one. Then you just rehydrate and you eat it. So it's a big market. Okay, so for seaweed, they actually is algae, but they might have these root structures we call holdfast. These structures actually just to help seaweed to anchor on substrates like rocks, woods, or anchor into the soil to grow, just for anchoring. But the whole structures, they can do water exchange, gas exchange, absorb nutrients, and do photosynthesis. Okay, let's say we cut off the blade or the leaf part. So the roots, even in, for plants, when we cut the plants like that, just leaving the roots, can it regrow? For most plants, cannot. But for seaweed, yes. They can grow from any small part of their body. But for seagrass, they are just normal plants in our gardens, like the trees. So they have very distinct structures, leaf just for photosynthesis. They have rhizomes to transport nutrients and storage energies. They have roots to absorb nutrients from the soil. And they also produce flower, fruit, and seed. Okay, so here I got some herbariums of different type of seaweed. Seagrass. You can pass around. So seagrass, they come in various sizes and shape. Okay, so some people are like, seagrass maybe look like weed, so it should be like grass shape. But no, we also have some seagrass that is oval shape. We call spoon grass. Okay, so currently here I have this one is Halopila ovalis, very common spoon grass. But we also have very rare species. They have 5 leaves in a cluster, look like a star. That is very, very rare. Unfortunately, in Sabah, we still haven't sighting it yet. But in Brunei, yes. So that's why we're like, Brunei have, why Sabah don't have? No sighting yet. Okay, hopefully future we'll have more. Okay. So in Malaysia, there's a 16 species of seagrass we can find in Malaysia waters. Okay, so seagrass, they grow in intertidal areas and to subtidal area, and even deeper, they can go to 30 meters. 30 meter depth, as long as the sunlight can reach the seafloor. Recently, there's a sighting there from overseas. They say they sight the seagrass about 45 meter depth areas. That's the deepest currently. In Sabah, it's about 32 meters in Sandakan. Yeah. So people are like, we only thought seagrass in shallow water. No. They can grow in deep waters as long as the sunlight can reach them. The water is crystal clear. Yes.
Do they grow in clumps?
Sorry?
Do they grow in clumps or they're like?
You take it as weed.
But if you see a seaweed actually grows like.
They will just grow branches out.
Yeah.
For seagrass, they kind of like weed. Okay, so they will grow new shoot from the meristem point or the end of
So
the.
you can distinguish between the seaweed and grass. When we were kids, we just never.
Seagrass is more like grass. So like the weed. So today you see one shoot. Next 2 days, another new shoot coming out. The next 2 days, another shoot coming out. Then it will expand from one shoot, become a lot of shoot. Then covering
So
a bigger area.
like a clump.
Yes. Not say clump, they can expand kilos or meters.
Around, from one root.
Yes, they can go to 100 meters if the environment allows them. In metatariums, that particular seagrass seagrass bed is about 1 kilometers, I believe. And that particular seagrass bed is originated from one seagrass seed. So they just branch out, new shoot, branch out. So as long as they don't disturb us, nobody go and eat them, kill them, or dig them up, they'll just grow and grow and grow and grow. Okay, so that's why seagrass, they will just continue grow, new shoot, and cover largest areas. For temperate, usually monospecies or 2 species only in one meadows. But in tropical region like Sabah, one seagrass meadows can site about 7 species together. So that's why identifications sometimes can be very tricky for those who are not so familiar. Okay, but in general, we have the largest tropical species of seagrass, the Anhelus or the Tate grass. These seagrass, they normally can grow up to 1.5 meters. It's quite big. Sorry, quite long. So in shallow water, you see like a lot of ribbons growing up to the surface. And sometimes people are afraid to going in. They thought that the leaf might be entangled there or sea monster coming out and so on. Sometimes I bring students, they are afraid to swim in this particular seagrass bed. I say, what are you afraid for? They're just afraid. Okay? Because the leaves are so long. Okay? You won't entangle if you're swimming in that particular seagrass bed. Don't worry about it. Okay? Then the rest, the thalassia or the turtle grass, Simodosia and Halodeus, which are the herbarium. Just now, everyone has passed around and see it. So they are considered medium-sized seagrass. While for the Halopila or the spoon grass, these are the smaller size seagrass. There are some species about less than 1 centimeters, even small. So sometimes people like, Are they seagrass? They look like small, tiny, tiny leaf thing on the sandy areas. Okay, so those are the unique of seagrass. They come in a lot of sizes and form. By colors, it's always green. But sometimes in high UV exposures areas, the seagrass can turn red colors. That is its protection. Just like human, when we sunbathing too much, our skin become thin because the pigment help to protect our skin from UV. So seagrass, they have this red pigment to help them, to protect them from UV harm. So that's why sometimes you see a seagrass a bit reddish, that's very normal. Okay. And in Sabah context, seagrass play very important roles as foods for marine endangered species. So we have the green turtles, but green turtles is slightly in better conditions because they can eat seagrass or seaweed. So they can foraging, this side got seagrass, then I eat seagrass. No seagrass, got seaweed, I eat seaweed. So there are opportunities, so they can survive even without seagrass. But for dugongs or our legendary mermaids, they only eat seagrass. Without seagrass, they will starve to extinctions. For adult dugongs, they can weigh up to 300 kilograms and reach about 2 meters. It's quite huge mammals. Okay? With this size of mammals, how many kilo of seagrass can a dugong eat a day? Any lucky guess?
Is that a joke? Oh, it's just a question.
It's a guessing question. Not for both of them because you know the answer last night already. Just lucky guess.
Maybe grass.
Yes. For 300 kilo of mammals, how many kilo can they eat a day? No, too much. Almost higher. So it's 40 kilo a day. 40 kilos. Okay? So basically, they like to eat small size, like the howlipila, the spoon grass, or like this one, small size. They prefer this species of seagrass because they are high in nutrients, less fibrous, and this kind of seagrass, they can grow faster. They can regrow to compensate the loss of grazing. So dugong, they're also quite smart. They choose those are always sustainable species for them to eat. And of course, maybe some people are wondering, how about the thick grass? This one is too fibrous. So dugong don't want to eat that. But for turtles, they also will eat the small size. Unless they have no choice, then they'll eat the thick grass. Unless they have no choice.
Do we have dugong here actually?
Yes, we still have dugong.
Honey, yes.
No more already. Because that particular dugong is too friendly to humans. So when operator bring tourists, the dugong will swim to them, playing with the divers or swim beneath the boat. So in 2006, my friends was approached to do the assessing the health of the dugong in Mantanani. So I was asked to assist as well. So we go there. Yes, the dugong see divers, very happy, come and play, hugging the divers. Because all the divers wearing fins. So the dugong we believe the dugong think that those with fins is another dugongs. So they want to play and hug. So the diver will panic because you imagine 300 kilo of mammal dragging you underwater. It's not fun.
How do you get this thing?
Huh?
You just run away or what?
During that time, the operator didn't give me any fins. So I the one not harassed by the dugong. So I just need to like distract the dugong a bit. So let the dugong will let the diver go. Then the diver quickly climb up to the boat. That's all we can do. And because of these behaviors, we very concerned because the boat propellers, when the engine is running, the dugong will still play beneath the boat. So you'll get, sooner or later, we get injury. And many years after that, that particular dugong die. Second, infections due to propeller injury. Because operators, it's a good money-making attractions. So non-stop bringing diverse tourists going over there. Until it died, no more in Matanani. Yes, protected. Unfortunately, we don't have very, complete conservation plans for dugongs. Not in Sabah, because everyone thought we don't have dugong anymore. But actually, we still have. One of the sites we know is Lawas. Yes. If you want to do tourism activity, not encouraged, because dugong, once they see humans, swim away. So there's a researcher actually tried to observe dugong in Lawas area. So the first year, they're using boat. By binocular, they sight the dugong from far. When they go there, dugong is gone. Second year, they use unmanned boat, remote control one, but the propeller still making noise. So the dugong, noise, human, swim away. Third year, they're using drone, aerials. And that's the only chance they can record the natural behavior of dugong. The pod behavior, the nursing, the interaction between dugong and so on. Perfect video shooting. So from there, then we know that dugong are still exist in the particular areas. Of course, other areas we might still have. About 3 months ago, so Kota Belud, they are sighting a stranded baby dugongs. Yes. The community found it stranded on the beach. They quickly carry it back to the sea. No, this one a new one. The friendly one already died off already. No more already. Same species, yes. Yeah.
One particular one is extreme.
Yep, very friendly. Once a boat nearby, you'll swim toward the boat and waiting you to go down and play with them. No. Yeah. We believe because it's living alone, it's too alone, so need to find friends or playmate. So humans wearing fins that look like playmates. So yeah, there's possibles for that.
They are like sea cows, right?
Yes. Normal common names, they call sea cow or sea camels, but they are more related with elephants. Genetically, they are more related to elephants, not cow, not camels.
Last year there was one from one city of Tanzania.
Yes, actually that has been there for many years. And when the video virals, so I was approached by a few government agencies to confirm, is that a real sighting there? Or is just fake from other places? So I was checking with resort, hotel and so on. Yes, they say, yes, the dugong is there for a few years. Sometimes they'll see around playing there and so on. Just that everyone keep it quiet so that we don't want tourists to flood in and disturb the dugong. Yeah, so that's what we do. So we try to keep secret. But because of virus, yes, there are some group that are trying to look for the dugongs, but they don't see it. So hopefully it still survive, but they're also lonely alone. So yeah. So hopefully we can come up with better protection plans for them. Lifespan 60, 70 years, somewhere like that. Yeah. Okay. So seagrass also very important nursery ground in Sabah context. Okay, so these all photos are taken in Sabah. This one is taken in Sepangga. So you see a long strands of tape seagrass and other medium size, but we have a lot of baby fish. They don't eat seagrass, but they will eat the algae growing on the seagrass. So you see some like hairy brownish things. Some of their fungi, algae, and other organisms growing on the seagrass leaf. So these are provide as a food source for the baby fish. So they like to spend around their areas. And it's also provide habitats for a lot of cute and rare animals as well. Okay, some species of seahorse, they actually live associated with seagrass only. Unfortunately, in Sabah, we don't really have much of this. But like in Johor, a lot of seagrass bed, they have a lot of seahorse. And the conservations over there, they also try to hide the locations because seahorse are harvested for traditional medicines. So there are a few areas over harvesting, almost extinct. So the conservation group go in, protect it, the population bounce back, but they keep it secret. So the hunter won't go there and hunting them. Very rare to find them. In Sabah, most seahorse are associated with seahorse species associated with corals, not much with seagrass. But they are relative they are relative piefish. Do you see the black like snake, earth? This guy? These are the piefish. So they are actually relative to seahorse. But for Sabah, a lot of seagrass bed, we can find this guy. This piefish is about this size only, not big. But we also have another species about this size. So they are usually associated with the thick seagrass where the leaf is long, so they can cling on it, camouflage themselves. And because the seagrass attract a lot of small fish, so it also attract predator fish. Do you see the fish here? The scorpion fish. So they are well camouflaged and waiting for baby fish to come and snap on them. Okay, do you see the crab here? Okay. Normal crab, the pincer is shorter, but this one is quite long. So this guy we call elbow crabs. Unfortunately, these species are not been reported or recorded in Sabah waters. Zero sighting, no record at all. But when I checked in Singapore, it actually listed as endangered species and protected species as well. So you can imagine that seagrass in Sabah, we might have a lot of rare or bizarre animal living there that we don't know yet. And we might losing it without knowing it. And seagrass also provide fishery resources because it attracts so many fish. Okay, so there are resources for coastal communities. Of course, not commercial fishing methods, but these are more on glanning, which are traditional fishing methods for the community, coastal communities. Okay, like this guy, actually, he is doing spearing the rabbit fish in seagrass bed areas. So sometimes big fish, they'll just spear it and carry it in the basket. So this the one we found in Sabah areas. This one in Kota Belud areas. So the housewife during low tide or the water is quite low, they're casting net to catch baby fish as food for them. Of course, for us, okay, we better let the baby fish go big. But for coastal community, they need to fill up their stomach first. So they will just catch and eat whatever they can. And for seagrass, in global scales, it contributes about 20% of the fishery resources. So actually, seagrass are also important, like mangrove and corals, provide so many seafood for us to eat. Just that sometimes we don't know it. Crabs, clams, sea urchins, sea cucumber, and so on. There's a lot. Okay. So some areas sea cucumber ranching. Unfortunately, in only in Kudat, they have about 2 villages. They're actually practicing ranching sea cucumber in seagrass bed areas. And the nearby village, they're ranching it in sandy areas without seagrass. So what they found out that those ranching in seagrass bed areas, they can harvest a sea cucumber about 1 year. And those ranching in sandy areas, about 1.5 to 2 years, reaching to market size. Okay, why? Because seagrass, it helps to trap a lot of organic matters, suspended particles into the seafloor. So it kind of trapping all the food source for the sea cucumber. So that's why in some part of Asia, like Philippines, they actually fence up seagrass area like pans to ranching sea cucumbers. But these are not so common in Sabah, unfortunately. And because seagrass, they don't have commercial values. So actually, we are trying to pushing sea cucumber ranchings or ecotourism. So to promote community to protect seagrass, in the same time, generate some income from them. So it's a win-win situation instead of protecting without getting any money. Seaweed cultures, the birdseed nest, just now you have been touching, the cover ficus. In Sempona, a lot of this seaweed farming actually happen on top of seagrass, unfortunately. So when the seaweed farming is too dense, it actually blocks a lot of sunlight to reach the seafloor. So the seagrass are dying. And I think about 3 years ago, so fishery department, they slowly realized this is not a good practice because we're farming seaweed for money, but we're losing seagrass. So they try to refine the approach, how to keep it balanced.
So the seaweed farmers didn't know that you're killing grass.
No. They think should be no problems. And seagrass, they believe is weed, no commercial importance, so they don't care. And because for farmers, they want fast use of seaweed. So sometimes they'll dig the seaweed into fertilizer. So the excess fertilizer, they'll just throw back to the sea. When the nutrients are dispersed in the sea, the algae will grow on seagrass. So the algae all cover up the seagrass and suffocate the seagrass alive. And then seagrass are gone. So that's also another impact for seaweed farming in that Sempona area. So now they are like, try to find the balance, how to balance it back.
But there used to actually seaweed farms in Sempona.
Yes.
Big farm.
Yes.
But didn't go to, it does, right? I mean, they still have it today?
Yes, still going on. But the scale is getting smaller and smaller.
Yeah, there was one time it was like a
yes. Because for seaweed, the market price fluctuates every day. Okay, this dry seaweed, at the cheapest time, 1 kilo is about 1 ringgit and 50 cents. So, if you are the farmer, are you willing to farming seaweed? Not really. The highest time, 15 ringgit per kilo. 100 times difference. So, for farmers, it's not easy because they need to feed the families. And if the fluctuation is too high, they cannot get enough money to feed their families. So a lot of farmers are small-scale farmers. They give up seaweed farming. So the scale actually getting small. Huh?
Wasn't it actually a government project?
Yayasan Sabah. They tried to rejuvenate it last year or last 2 years. Last year. Last 2 years, sorry. Last 2 years. They tried to rejuvenate it. But I'm not sure what is happening now. Because of seaweed, the demand for Sabah is about 3,000 tons per month. But unfortunately, the productions is about 500 to 1,000 tons per month only. So there's still a big gap. But the price is too low for the farmers. So that's why a lot are giving up. Because you need to work under the sun, maybe windy, storm, and so on. And because Sampurna, we have a lot of green turtles, so it's a free buffet for the turtles. So another challenge. So as a farmer, you want to kill them, cannot protect the species. How you chase them? You cannot chase them also. So there's a lot of challenge for the seaweed farming in Sampurna. Okay. So another important role of seagrass in Sabah is the blue economy development. Okay, so I'm sure everyone have been at least heard about blue economies, and Sabah state is trying to push as blue economy hubs in Malaysia. And last year they have been approved a funding to develop blue economy hub in Kudat. They say have been approved, the land and so on. Okay, so blue economies is all related with oceans. Okay, so how seagrass play a role in blue economies? The first one is the carbon credits. Money, it's all about money. Okay, because for seagrass, they only cover less than 2% of our ocean surface. But they're able to capture and store about 48% of the oceanic carbons. So you imagine the ocean so vast. Seagrass only less than 2%, but they can capture almost half of the ocean carbons. It's a huge contribution. And seagrass have 35 times more effective sequestrate or capture all the carbons compared with our terrestrial forests. They can store and sequence faster. Okay, so meaning that there's more carbon will be stored in the sediments. And this carbon can be traded in carbon credits. Okay, so for corporates or industry player to buy the carbon credit, oh, I buy this carbon credit to offset my industry carbon emissions. This is money. Okay. For me, I'm not so keen on carbon credit things because it's a lot of crazy thing happening. Okay, and even there are some using seaweed for carbon credits. Seaweed is good carbon captures, but not carbon sink. Seagrass is, but yeah, people is trying to loopholes to get money faster. Okay, so one of the things will be the carbon credits. Other things from seagrass is the seafood food securities. Okay, because for seagrass, one study in Indonesia, they found out that fish and invertebrate living in seagrass areas, they have 50% less infects by pathogens, or meaning that not that easy to get sick. Yes, it found out that seagrass somehow are filtering the pathogens from the water column, but nobody know how the mechanism happens. But when I talk with China experts, they say that there's particular marine fungi are feeding on pathogens and bacteria. And those fungi may growing on the seagrass leaf surface. So that when the water column pass by, the fungi is filtered and eating up all the pathogens. So the water pass through it, lesser pathogens. So animals living in that particular regions are less susceptible to pathogen infections. So when the fish are healthier, it's healthy for us because the seafood we eat are more clean, less disease, and so on. So that's why food security play a role here. And another impact of seagrass would be they can reduce the occurrence of red tide. Yes, red tide is caused by microalgae, unfortunately. So not say bad guy, they exist naturally, just that in certain conditions, they bloom in bloom in so high concentrations, the toxic having effect on humans as well. Okay, so that's why when that time we don't eat shellfish, shrimps, filter feeder like basong and so on. Okay, because the toxic will travel to humans. But their study found that in seagrass areas, less occurrence of red tide. So possible because of that particular marine fungi, so they eat out all that microalgae, or other organisms that live on seagrass might be eating up all the algae, so that there are less chance to have red tide happens. So our seafood will be more clean and safer to consume.
Is there any studies on mercury?
Unfortunately, seagrass, they can accumulate pollutants and toxic.
Any seagrass able to help us? No.
Seaweed will be better options because they will absorb even faster. But of course, those seaweed used to filter pollutants, not for human consumptions. Actually, around the world, there are a few countries actually using seaweed to filter pollutant from river runoff. Then the seaweed, they just bury somewhere else. Because it's high of pollutants. If human consume, I don't know, it's big issues.
There'll be less mercury.
Maybe. Okay. So another roles of seagrass in blue economy is the coastal protections. Because seagrass itself can help to reduce wave energy from open sea to shoreline. The study have been found that it can reduce up to 40%. 40% reductions. So mean that wave energy lesser to reach and our beach will be more protected and not easy to erode. So when the beach are more protected, human properties and other things are more secure. If not, we will need to invest more money for wave breakers, storm embankments, or other structures to protect the coastline from wave actions. And another role is marine ecotourism. Unfortunately for seagrass, not so much. So most of them will be focused on corals and mangrove. Because for seagrass, people are still feel boring, nothing much to see. But actually, if you're lucky, you can find a lot of things in seagrass area as well. Okay, so why conservation of seagrass are lacking in Sabah? Even in Malaysia general. Okay, one is lack of awareness and also less of media coverage. Because even reporters or media, they found that seagrass, no, it just look like grass or weed, nothing interesting. So not much of coverage, so people do not know about seagrass and its importance. Okay, but around the world, a lot of seagrass communities are trying our best to encourage people to participate in seagrass conservations. Okay, so these seagrass spotters, this actually is a mobile apps. Then they also have PC versions. Okay, these are open for everyone. Everyone can be citizens, scientists. Wherever you go, if you found seagrass, take some photos, upload through these platforms. Let's say you can identify the species, you just write down the species name. Let's say, oh, I don't really know about seagrass. Then you get help from them. The platform, they have a series of questions to help you to identify the species. Then once it's complete, then you upload in these platforms. And everyone also can access this platform. So from the map, you can see where the seagrass have been sighted. Where are the location, what kind of species, and upload by who. But unfortunately in Malaysia, 90% is for me. Because there's a UKM student doing seagrass citizen science project. So she was looking at the seagrass portal, then contact me and say, Michael, you are the only one I can reach and all the sightings from you. But actually not all for me, because I got friends, their site take photos, they don't want to upload. So they send to me, give me the locations, I upload on behalf. So that this platform can give a better understanding where are the seagrass are. And hopefully we can do better conservation work on that. And this recent 3 years, so Sabah state have been formulate some conservation policy, including seagrass, luckily. Sabah mangrove plants, coastal plants, and so on. So they are including the seagrass. But we still don't have enough data for that. So hopefully in the future, we have better understanding for that. Conservation and eco-tour. Unfortunately, Sabah, I haven't really started this one yet. But in Penang, I have friends from Penang Seagrass projects. So they do organize trips, bringing families, students, kids to explore seagrass areas. They go and find what kind of animals are there, why they are there, and how the seagrass habitat is, and what can we do to protect them in the futures.
At low tide, it's exposed.
Yes. These are intertidal seagrass bed. If you go to Penang, the main Penang beach, toward Penang is on the right hand side. So when the low tide, you see a sandbar areas, that's the seagrass is. There's the only one in Penang.
During low tide, you can find it.
Yes. High tide, you still can see them, but just that if you want to explore, not so convenient because you get wet, street snorkeling or others. So normally they will try to do in low tide. So people are more secure and can explore better. And this Club Alami in JB. Okay, this all is Singapore. So the strait between JB and Singapore, you have a big hill lush of seagrass. They have dugong, seahorse. Yeah, a lot of NGO are working conservation projects over there. And these are managed by this Club Alami. This actually is a youth, I will say community youth groups. Those kids, they have been trained from 11 and 12 years old to do ecotourism. They become the local guides. And they have been doing it for now should be like 15 years. Now they should be like 24, 25 years old already. Non-stop doing it. So they're not just doing ecotourism, they also do corporate CSR project, bringing a corporate to seagrass bed, to some mangrove tree plantings. They also work with university as citizen science to collect scientific data for the research. And this area actually, they have some developments, reclamations happens. And they are trying fighting that. So there's one meetings with the developers. The youth themselves go and present the data. And the developers were so touched because the youth are the ones are fighting for this seagrass. So they agree to stop the project. So you can see actually there's hopes, but take some time. Okay. So as I mentioned, lacks of media coverage on seagrass. But starting last year, yes, we start getting more and more media coverage, which are good signs. Okay, so the first one, these are the sea silent forest. These are by RTM Symphony Alarms. So here I got a QR link to the YouTube. It's about 30 minutes documentary for the seagrass project in Sabah by the UMS and myself. The second is a podcast by the One Stop Wildlife Borneo. So there's also a QR. You also can go and watch the podcast. Some information I might not sharing this evening. So over there you can have more informations. And this very recent by Yayasan Petronas or Petronas. So deal in conjunction with World Seagrass Day. So they actually produced 3 series of short videos about the seagrass project in Malaysia. So the Johor just released recently. So these are the QR. The next one, Penang, will be on the 10th March. Sabah will be on the 17th March. And these are the introductions videos. Let me play it. Yeah, these are just short introductions. So the work funded by Yayasan Petronas for mapping and study seagrass in Malaysia. So mainly focus Johor, Penang, and Sabah. Okay. Okay, so that will be the sharing for these evenings. Okay, so now should be more interactive sessions. Okay, because for this sharing, I try not to do it too informative. Because for Rachel's and Vince, last night they have very informative 2 hour session with me already. Part of the tour guide trainings. Okay, so yeah, thanks.